Hi everybody, so today I'm going to teach you how to make your own personalised stocking. So all you need to do is buy a stocking online or in a craft shop. You can pick them up fairly cheap, about £1 or £2. It's just a little felt stocking, but it's big enough to get everything you need in. And then all you need is some scissors, a pen, a glue gun and some coloured felt. I recommend using a glue gun because you'll be able to stick things down a lot easier. So what I've done is I've drawn my design out for quickness on a piece of paper. So I'm going for this ho-ho sort of snowman feel. Don't know if you can see that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut them out and then I'm going to draw into my felt. It's best to do this way rather than just cutting it and hoping, because at least now I know that this is going to fit onto my, my stocking. So you can play around with it when you get there, but at least we know the positioning will work. So it's best to draw it on a piece of paper first and then cut it out, make sure that it fits everywhere you want, and then cut your felt so you're not wasting lots of felt. So I've got separate scissors. These ones are my paper scissors and the purple ones are my felt scissors. It's good to keep them separate because paper can blunt your material scissors and then you have a real tough time trying to cut things out. So I'm going to cut my stencil out first of all, and I'll show you it as we go. Okay. So it's best to get rid of big bits of paper and then you can cut them down rather than battling with a whole sheet. So first of all I'm cutting out my H's. And I'll get rid of all the little bits of paper I don't need and put them to one side. So I've got my 3 H's for my ho-ho. And I'm going to do them in white with my felt once I'm ready to, just because it will pop quite nicely against the red background. So there's my 3 H's already down. I'll turn it this way so you can see it in real time. So ho, ho, ho. Okay, so next I'm going to cut my little snowman's feet. So these will just be 2 sort of little boot shapes, but use your creativity, you know, have a little look online, get some idea of designs that you want to do. I always spend a lot more time researching my ideas than I do doing them. Don't know if you guys are the same. There's his feet. Oh, not in camera. There's his feet. And then next I'm going to do his hat. Which will go more so at the top. And now we've got the 3 circles for the ho-hos to come out. So for this O, I've got a circle in the middle that I want to cut out for the mouth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it in half, cut a little line into the O, and then I've got somewhere to push my scissors through and do the middle. If you're having a bit of trouble with that, you could always just cut a line and then you can sellotape it together afterwards, or sew it when you're on your felt. the top, this will be the face. So now I know to move them over. So that's the first H and O. The next one is going to be the middle of the body, the upper body. So I'm just going to cut that out. And pop that there. And then lastly, I've got the bottom of the body. I'm undecided whether I'm going to give them holes in the middle. I think I will, because it will look like a proper ho-ho-ho then. Otherwise the effect might be lost. There we go, so that's my bottom O, and I'm going to move the feet over. I'm just going to go back and cut this middle one out, so they're all the same. Okay, so that's the ho, ho, ho. Perfect. So now we probably want to give our snowman some arms as well. I will give him a beak, like a nose, sorry, and some eyes, but I won't do those yet because they'll be really fiddly and I can just cut those freehand. So I'm going to cut some hands out. So yeah, sticks for arms, so they will go on there. So I'll have to move this around a bit and look at how I want to position it, or I can always cut down my arms if they're too long. There we go. Or they can overlap on the colours when I get them together. That's probably a better idea. So I won't cut two of those because I can use the same template again. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move on to the felt. So I'm going to cut the nose out first, so I know that I only need a really little nose. So I'm going to put my paper scissors to the side and get my fabric scissors. Don't worry if you don't have both, but just be conscious that material as well can blunt your scissors, so you'd have quite a tough time cutting it out. So, there's his nose already. I'm going to do the little bits first. So I'm going to cut the hat. So I'm going to use my template. I'm going to pop it onto the felt. Now this isn't a good example because this one is quite dark, so I'm just going to cut that freehand. So when we get to the lighter colours where you can see them, it will make it a lot easier. So there's his hat. I'm going to give him a little strip of yellow, which luckily is the length of that. So a little strip of yellow into the middle of the hat, just to give the hat a bit of detail. It'll all become a lot clearer soon, so you can see it at the moment though. So I'm going to put the hat template to the side because I won't be needing that again. I'm going to cut his feet out. So that's 1 foot. And that's 2 foot, or feet. So it's starting to take a good shape now. I'll come back and do the eyes in a minute, so I don't need my orange anymore. And we need to give him a little scarf as well at some point, so I'll come back and do that at the end. So let's get the ho-hos cut out. So let's just pop that to the side, and what I'm going to do is I've got my sheet of white felt, and I'm just going to pop my template on there, try and get it in the corners so you're not wasting felt and you get as much as possible out of there. And then I'm going to draw around it. So I need 3 H's for the ho-ho-hos. So what's my best H? It's probably this bottom one. So I want to keep them all the same. So don't put your ink side up, otherwise you'll be seeing your little bits of drawings underneath. If you're very advanced, you could get some dressmaker's chalk. You might have some indoors. Because then that just rubs off. But I'm just using a standard biro pen. Just make that a bit more pronounced so you can see it when I hold it up in a second. Okay, so as you can see, I've really used the corners to minimise the amount of felt I'm using, whereas if I'd have drawn it in random places, it might have impacted my later designs. So I'm going to put the 3 H's to the side, and I'm going to cut them out in felt so that I'm ready to go. So I'm just going to cut a long strip with the 3 H's because I've drawn them almost in one long line, and I'm going to cut them there, and then I'm going to cut between so I can cut the little middle bits out. So that's my first H out of felt. Second one, and lastly the third one. There we go, perfect. So we've got our 3 H's cut in felt, we've got our hat, we've got our nose, and we've got our feet. So now we just need to do the O's, the arms, the scarf, and the eyes. So next I'm going to move on to the O's. Now this time I can't use the same template each time, and you can see so that one doesn't quite fit in this area because there's a bit of an overhang. That's okay, so I'll just do it in the first corner I've got available, and I'll draw it out. Now my O's are all different sizes, that's why I'm not going to use the same template for all 3 of them. So I'm going to cut the first one out, and I'll pop them down as we go. So I'm going to put my template to the side as well. It's my little rubbish pile. Good out of sight. And then again I'm going to fold it in half, cut the line like I did before so that you can get your scissors in there and cut the circle out. Again, if you can't do it, just cut a little line and then you can just tack it together at the end with a bit of thread or a bit of glue. Okay, so that's my first O. So this will be the final, obviously now. Where's my nose gone? Here's my nose. So there's the nose. This is the mouth. Just have a play around with it. I'm going to do the next O now. So it's a slightly bigger one this time. There we go, and I'm going to cut it out. Same as before. Ooh, I'm going to cut the middle so I can get my middle circle out. Slot my scissors through and then just cut round. There we go. So that's the middle bit. And then lastly we've got the big O now to finish off our snowman's body. So just drawing around my templates. Perfect. Okay, so round we go. I'm going to move the white to the side because I don't believe I'm going to need that anymore. Move my template over. Pop that through, cut the middle out, and the body is done. Go. So pop your big circle down at the end. And then we've got our ho, ho, ho. Okay, so now we've got the arms, the eyes, and the scarf left. So I'm just going to pick up my black felt and I'm just going to cut 2 circles out. I might give him some buttons as well, I might see how he looks at the end. Decide if he needs it. So there's one eye. And there's 2 eyes. So he's really starting to get his little character on the go now. Okay, so next I'm going to pop that to the side and let's do his hands. And then we'll finish off with his scarf. Okay, so I'm going to draw my outline for the hands. Oh. Go. Perfect. So I'm just going to cut them out now. Get rid of my extras. Maybe make his hands a bit skinnier. There we go, so one's there. Try and keep it on your stocking. You don't really want it overhanging if you can help it. Another one here. Again, make his arm a little bit skinnier, I think. He's starting to take shape now, isn't he? So maybe I'll bring his arms down a bit, because I want to be able to fit the scarf in. So I'm just going to cut him a little scarf out, roughly. Just out of some green felt. Pop it there. And let's give the scarf a little bit of a tail as well. Okay. So make it a bit skinnier for the other bits of the scarf. Cut it in half. And I might tuck it under just for neatness. There we go. So all we need to do now is we need to stick it down. So I'll lift it up so you can see it a bit better. But this is how our stocking is looking, okay? So all you need to do is cut your templates out, draw them onto felt, have a play around, and then we're going to glue gun them down. So I'm just going to plug my glue gun in. Wait for that to heat up a minute. Turn this one over because I just realised the ink is on the other side. Oh no, it wasn't. Okay, that's just a little bit of overhang. That's fine. And then what I'm going to do is glue it all down, and then we've got our stocking ready for Christmas Eve, for when Santa comes. So you can give these as little gifts, you can make them, you could do your own designs. Don't feel you have to do the same as mine. I just thought it'd be a bit of fun for a ho ho ho. And yeah, you know, just have a bit of fun. Look online if you need a bit of help with the creativity, and get creative. So once this is heated up, I'll glue it on, and you'll be able to see it in all its glory. So I'm just going to turn it this way so I can see for now. Not quite hot enough just yet. But that should stick down. But yeah, just make sure everything's in the place that you want it to be. Maybe would his hat look better that way? Or would it look better that way? I think it probably looks better in the direction that he's going. You don't need much glue. And this is good because you can use this year in, year out now. So you've got a nice little stocking to hang over your fireplace every year. The only thing with glue is the glue gun is that it dries quite quickly, so there's not a lot of room for error. You don't want it to be too thick, otherwise you'll fill with bubbles through the stocking. Okay, so I'm going to pick these pieces off and we'll put them back on after. You could stitch this on if you wanted as well. Depends how good you are. Or if you've got a bit of like nice material, you could, you know, use that. You don't have to use felt. It's just felt's quite an easy one to start with. Okay. I think I'm going to finish this bit first before I start to. So let's stick his nose on. his eyes on. One eye. Two eyes. It's always helpful to lay out your design first rather than just gluing it, because you've got all your space awareness then. You know where everything goes and it will fit okay. Make sure my little yellow ribbon on my hat is there. Ooh. There we go. Now how did I do this? I had my scarf down first, didn't I? And then I had my, I'm going to put a little bit of line of glue here. And then I'll be able to stick that down. Just make sure you peel off all your leftover bits of glue. You don't want that ruining the effect of your lovely stocking. That's it, and then we'll pop our hands on and he's ready to be hung. That will do quite nicely. My glue gun's come to the end of its glue, so let's try and get my finger in there. Just get a bit more glue out just so I can get this arm on. There we go. So we now have a completed stocking for our snowman. So you can hang him on the fireplace all ready for Christmas. Pop your presents in there, so you can give them as a gift or you can keep them for yourself and use them year after year. But there you go, that's how to make a personalised stocking. So I hope you have lots of fun making this craft. Always send in your photos so we see how we get on. And I want to see your creativity, so let me know how you get on and if you found it hard or easy, or you might have already done a craft like this, so share what you've done in the past as well. Thanks for watching and see you soon. Bye for now.